My name is Ed Russo, and I'll explain how this all started. Years ago, while I was dating this girl who happens to be my first date, during our last date, we were driving along a dirt road. It was at night. My cousin Omar was in a separate car behind me. Up ahead, I seen a woman dressed in a white gown or dress. She had blonde hair. My cousin Omar said her eyes were green. She looked at him directly in his eyes. Suddenly, we both witnessed her disappear in thin air. She was solid flesh just like any other living person, but vanished in thin air. Shortly, my cousin Jim and I went to his girlfriend's at a farm in Fort City, Pennsylvania. While we paid her a visit, she opened up to us about strange things that happened on her farm, such as UFOs, missing cows, etc. When me and my cousin Jim got in the car to leave, as we were driving out of the long driveway, I felt the strongest presence of being watched. I was speechless until my cousin Jim said, "Do you feel that?" He felt it too. The presence was overwhelming for both of us. The further we got, the less the feeling dissipated. Her drive was so long it seemed like it took about 20 minutes to a half an hour just to get off her large property. A week later, after reading out a library book, Communion by Whitley Strieber, there was something about the female visitor on the cover of the book. I felt a connection and then put the book down. For 3 days, I had this urge to go back to the farm. I could no longer ignore the telepathic call. I then, at the last minute, decided to pick my cousin Omar up. He brought his girlfriend. She claimed she saw beings as a child in her bedroom. Just as we left from the short visit to a friend at the farm, it was now evening, and suddenly we saw a UFO. It resembled a wedding cake, except it had many different colored lights on it. Suddenly it disappeared in thin air, just as it appeared. We didn't see it fly off, we just witnessed it vanish. After the incident, I decided to contact an old friend of mine's I met at a meditation group years ago. She suggested for me to watch the ABC miniseries Out on a Limb, which was the beginning of an eye-opener. This friend got back in touch with me and directed me to someone who knew someone who had contact with the Pleiadians. This information turned my views around completely. My cousin Jim also absorbed this material that was published by George Green. My views changed so much that I no longer considered myself Christian that I was raised as. That year, I took an interest in Buddhism and Wicca. Years later, I was about to lay down and suddenly I found myself traveling in a spiraling tunnel at the time, and I didn't realize it was a form of astral projection. I felt a presence of a woman, and sometime after that, I felt she was communicating with me telepathically. Eventually, I met some lady in a occult bookstore who I learned from also had a encounter with the same being as I did without me even telling her. We kept in contact for some time over the phone. Later, when I was in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, which is 600 miles from where I live, I went to a witch store and the police was there due to some incident. But instead of me being drawn to the commotion, I felt a pull in a certain direction to my left. I turned my head to see what it was, and I saw another book by Whitley Strieber that inside it reminded me of the lady friend I met at the cult bookstore. After that, through the synchronicity of events, I encountered another female being from then all kinds of doors and stuff opened up to me. I received information from her that changed my life for the better, and that I felt to share with the world through my writings. Now, I will talk about the power of I am. When it comes to autosuggestions, words are very important. The thing is, when you say the word I am, do not follow it with an experience. Detach yourself to experience that's only fleeting, causes anxiety and not fear. Therefore, the words to put after it is a state of being that's internal, such as I am successful, I am love. Those are states of eternity. Some might ask, how could success be eternal? Well, success doesn't have to do with money. Those might be temporary things, but success is a state of mind, which is that of the divinity. Now, if you want to become successful, to say I'm becoming successful would be inappropriate. Therefore, keep it in the present tense. The affirmation is to program the mind of always becoming but never reaching if you say, I am becoming. Therefore, the appropriate suggestion would be, I am successful. I am love. And even if your negative thoughts come in and try to debunk you and say, yeah, right, get past it. Say, I am successful, and in time you will come to believe it. One must feel it, and once you do, it will manifest in your life success. Another thing about the mind is the mind does not negate. Words like no or does not register in the mind. That is part of the reason when you tell someone not to do something, they do it anyway. For example, if you're trying to lose weight, saying I am not fat is inappropriate. The mind picks up everything, and then that sentence, it picks up everything except the word not. All the mind hears is that suggestion, I'm fat. Therefore, once again, one must put the word I am, such as I am thin. No matter how unrealistic this may appear, this is how the mind works. The belief takes place in the mind first before it manifests in the material reality. Whatever you want, you must feel it, that you already have it. Feel and believe that you have the money that you need. Realize that you deserve it. In time, you will program the mind to accept it while your habits change to move towards that which you believe and deserve. Your subconscious mind will give you the insight of what actions to take to get that money. You may receive insight from a sudden inspiration. You may come up with an idea. The flash of insight might be something coming to you from the cosmic. The cosmic intelligence is the link to the subconscious mind. This is also what is needed to do to get anything that else you want. If you want to lose weight, see and feel that you are there. Go somewhere quiet and say out loud the amount of money that you want. See the time limit and how it will serve in order to receive it.